And hello everybody and welcome to part 1 of this PDC Darts World Championship preview. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to look at a whole bunch of matches. We're going to discuss them a bit, and then I'm going to simulate using PDC Darts Simulator, and eventually we're going to go through the entire tournament. Now the first thing you may notice is that my sessions will not match up with the real-life schedule. This is done for a number of reasons. The main reason being I needed to divide them up into videos, which would be easier for me to manage. And since I don't have all 96 players in the World Championship actually programmed into my game, there were some first-round matchups that we're not going to be able to do. However, you'll see sessions 1 and 2, those are the 9 that we will be able to do. And so we'll be doing those first, and anybody who did not have a match just gets a bye into round 2. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. I don't think there's any thrilling matchups we're not going to be able to see. And yeah, so with that said, let's get going. So the first matchup is going to be between Danny Noppert and Royden Lamb. Noppert, of course, is in his first year on the PDC. He came over from the BDO and was the runner-up 2 years ago in the Lakeside World Championship, so he's had a very good year to qualify for the World Championship in his first year. As for Royden Lamb, he qualified out of Asia. He is a very well-known soft tip hitter, and he is also known for upsetting Gary Anderson in Shanghai this year. That was definitely his biggest triumph. So for this matchup, I like Noppert. I like him a lot. I think he's a very consistent player, a very good player. I don't think Royden Lamb's going to be able to score with him, and I think Noppert is just better all around. So I think this could very easily be 3-0, possibly 3-1, but I don't see this one being all that competitive. So with that said, let's get out to the hockey. And I was wondering what all that garbage is on the bottom of the screen. That was just me setting up and testing. That has no bearing on anything. So you can just ignore all that that's going on down there. All right, so we'll introduce the players. And I do still have Charlotte Wood and Danielle Alfrey in my game, unlike real life, where they're not allowed to for some reason. Okay, best of 5, first to 3, and the winner is Danny Noppert with a score of 3-0. So I actually predicted that one correctly. As you can see, Lambs just simply could not score enough. Noppert was quite good. Well, 4 180s is pretty decent in 14 legs. 9 for 24 on the doubles. Decent. Average, I guess. 89 average, not the best, but Lamb was just not much of a threat. So, he will take on Max Hopp in the next round. Up next, we have Ricky Evans versus Robbie John Rodriguez. Now, Ricky Evans is, of course, known as the fastest player in the world, Rapid Ricky, and, well, there's a reason for that. He can throw all 3 of his darts in literally just a couple of seconds, and he can hit 180s doing that. It's quite amazing, really. He had a good run in a Euro Tour to get to a final, which basically qualified him for a whole bunch of stuff, including the Grand Prix, the European Championships. Really made his year, and he's taken advantage of it. He's shown he's quite a threat when he's playing well. As for Robbie John Rodriguez, he's one of the many Rodriguez brothers from Austria. He qualified actually by beating his brother to qualify in one of the European slots. This match, I like Ricky Evans. I just think he's the better player. He's more experienced. He's a little inconsistent, but then again, so is his opponent, so I don't think that's going to be a huge deal. I like Ricky winning 3-1 here. It could be closer, but I would predict a 3-1 win for Ricky Evans. So, without further ado, let's get out there. I have to look up some of their numbers when I'm inputting them since there's over 100 players in here. Ricky. And here we go. And the winner is Ricky Evans, 3-2. Look at that, 8 180s for Robbie John Rodriguez, but only 9 out of 36 on the doubles. That was a killer. And look at Ricky taking out a 150 on double 15 to end the match. That's pretty brutal. Ricky was up 13-9 on legs, and he did outscore him. But that's the thing with set play. It could be pretty close, even though he was pretty comfortably ahead on legs. But yeah, this one all came down to finishing. Ricky finished at least okay, and Robbie John Rodriguez did not finish well at all, really. 9 for 36. You're just not going to win a whole lot going 25% on the doubles. Kind of cool that he averaged exactly 90. That's kind of hard to do. And he will take on Cristo Reyes in the next round. Up next we have German youngster Martin Schindler against Cody Harris from New Zealand. Martin Schindler, he is, along with Max Hopp, the German duo who has done well in the World Cup the last couple of years. He's really improved over the last year and has shown that he is definitely at least the second best player out of Germany, and you could certainly argue he's the best. As for Cody Harris, I think we can agree he's the best player in New Zealand. He's been a little bit of a force here and there. He's fighting to get a tour card, I do believe. So we'll see how he does. I think we can all agree that Schindler should be the favorite here. I wouldn't take Cody Harris necessarily lightly. I just think Schindler, he's playing really well right now. I like a 3-1 win for him. I think he's just a little too good. So let's get him out there. And here we go. Wow. That was a little bit of a shocker there. Cody Harris played really well, averaging 93. Certainly solid. 9 out of 20 on the doubles. That's very good. A 156 finish is quite nice. Schindler couldn't win a set. Only won 2 legs. Look at that. 2 out of 11 on the doubles. That's not very good. And he only averaged 90. That's also not very good. So there's a bit of an upset. I think we could agree to that. Cody Harris just played, well, better. He earned that win. 93 is pretty good. All right. Up next, we got Richard North against Robert Marjanovic. So Richard North, he also has had a fairly good year, especially on the European Tour. He's had a couple of good runs there. And Robert Marjanovic, another German, he's qualified for a lot of things, taking advantage of the host nation qualifying route. And he's won a few matches once he's gotten there. I like Richard North here. I think it'll be close. I think he wins 3-2. So, let's get him out there. And there we go. He wins 3-1. That was close. It was 10-7 on legs. Both players finished quite well. Similar averages. I would say Richard North probably timed it a little better. But you know that's a big part of set play. He won 3 sets and only won one other leg, but you know that's all it takes sometimes. So he'll be moving on to the next round. and he will take on Steve West. So that would be the end of the first session, but we're not going to end the video here. We're going to finish off session 2 as well. So up next we have a highly anticipated matchup, and probably the most anticipated matchup of the first round, Jan Decker versus Lisa Ashton. Now, I think most people can agree that Lisa Ashton is the best female player in the world. She can average in the low 80s, which is very good. There's really no other woman that can average over 80 consistently. And she's won multiple world championships. Also very good. Not too many can boast about that. And we all know what Jan Decker's all about. He's one of the best finishers in the world, very inconsistent with his scoring, and he can have just horrible matches. But he can also have great matches. You just never know what you're going to get. A lot of people are saying that Lisa should beat him. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think if Jan Decker takes care of business, he will win. But as I just mentioned, he's extremely inconsistent, and there is no guarantee that he will do that. This matchup is actually so highly anticipated, I actually used some binomial functions to actually calculate his chances of winning, and I gave him a 92.9% chance of winning, and gave her a 7.1% chance of winning. This was with a long string of calculations, which I won't bore you all with. But it does show that she does have a chance, but she definitely is an underdog. So what do I predict? As much as I would love to see her win, because that would be a great story and great for darts, I just don't see it. I just don't think she's going to have quite enough. I think Jan Decker will be motivated, and I think he wins 3-0. She might pull one set out, make it 3-1. I could certainly see that, but I just don't see it any closer than that. I'm sure that's not what you all wanted to hear. You wanted me to say how she was going to go to the finals and beat everybody up, but no, unfortunately, I just don't think she's quite got it in her. I think she'll be competitive, but I don't see her winning. All right, so let's get them out there. Start with Jan. I'll give her the second introduction. And here we go. Well, she pulled out a set. That's good. Glad to see that. So you can see his doubles were quite good, throwing 11 out of 21. That's what you'd expect out of him if he's playing well. And he threw 5 180s and 15 legs. That's also very good for his standard. So he played well. And she did too. She averaged 85 and .65 and 3 180s. So she played about as well as you'd expect, and it was just 3-1. So that's kind of how I would expect that to go. If both play well, it's probably 3-1 Decker. So unfortunately for all the Lisa Ashton fans out there, there's what you're probably looking at. All right, moving on to Josh Payne, super bodybuilder Josh Payne against the Canadian Jeff Smith. Josh Payne, he's actually won a couple of things this year. He won a Pro Tour event, very nice. And Jeff Smith, he won the U.S. Darts Masters to qualify here, or is it North American Darts Masters? Whatever. He won the Vegas tournament, and that got him a ticket to Ali Pali. Well, Josh Payne he's a more seasoned player, I think. He plays full time. I think he's the better player. I don't see this one being all that close if Josh plays to his abilities. Of course, we all know that not everybody plays to their abilities, but I think this would be a pretty big upset if Jeff Smith were to beat him. I think Payne probably wins 3-1. So with that said, let's get him out there. And there we go. And it went 3-2. Wow, very good finishing by both players. And yeah, just Payne was a little bit better. Took out that double 18 there at the end. And took out 66 and 2 darts. Very good. So yeah, basically not a lot of difference between the two. Payne just scored a little better, a little bit more 180s. Just beat him on scoring, essentially. He will take on, let's see who he's going to play next. He's going to take on Dave Chisnell. Should be, that should be a very good match, I think. All right, up next we have Krzysztof Ratajski taking on Diego Asada. Now, we all know what Ratajski's all about. He was on fire at the end of the year. He won himself a tour card. He got himself into all sorts of stuff, including the World Championships, when he wasn't qualified for much of anything. And next thing you know, he's the next hot thing in darts. Now, he came over for the BDO, didn't get a tour card, but he will have one next year because he's actually in the top 64 now. Well done, Krzysztof. I like his game a lot. But I also like Diego Asada. He's from Japan. He was excellent in the World Cup for the Japanese team. And I think he's probably the best player in Asia. There's a few other pretty good players. But if I had to pick one, I think I'd take Asada. So what do I think is going to happen? Well, I like both players. I really do. I just think Ratajski's playing too well right now. I don't see Asada beating him, but I think he'll be competitive. I think Ratajski is more than capable of just blowing him off the Aki as well, putting up like a 98 average or something, just running away with it. I could see that. So I'm going to go 3-1 Ratajski. I just don't think Asada is going to be able to stay with him. I think at some point Ratajski is just going to run away. So let's get out there and see what's going to happen. And we're off. And Asada upsets him. Wow! Look at that! Now that's really surprising. Now look at this, and this is the interesting thing about set play. Ratajski actually won more legs than Asada, 12 to 11. But look at that finishing, just 12 for 39. That's just putrid finishing. And it killed his score. And if he was finishing even average, he would have probably averaged 98, 99. Instead, he lets Asada nick a bunch of legs. There's a 170 checkout. And, well, there you have it. That's a pretty decent-sized upset. But, again, it all comes down to the finishing and the timing. Asada 11 out of 19 on the doubles, so he can win 3 sets winning fewer legs because he timed it so nicely. So, well done. Record this. All right. So, in the next round, he will play James Wade. That will be a tough matchup. We'll see how that one goes. Up next, we have Ryan Joyce taking on Anastasia Dobramoslova. This is another highly anticipated match. Anastasia, of course, has been very successful on the BDO for the women. She's won all sorts of things. And she was the winner of the Rest of the World qualifier for the ladies. Ryan Joyce, he's a pretty solid player. He's actually been playing very well the last few months, so he's in good form. I think that Joyce should win this. I would give him even a better chance than Decker. The simple truth is, I think Joyce is probably a little better than Decker, and Anastasia is not as good as Lisa Ashton. So I think the gap is wider here, and I think Joyce wins this one 3-0. Now, I know, she's beaten people in the past. She won that Grand Slam against Vincent van der Voort. She can win. I just don't think she's going to. So, we will see. Let's find out. Let's get them on the Aki. Okay, here's our first competitor. And Here comes Anastasia. And the winner is Ryan Joyce, 3-0. Well, it's kind of funny that she threw two 180s and he didn't throw any. And despite this, he got 27 darts at double to her 4. Well, that's certainly a thing. Of course, you can always remember this with the averages. The fact that she was having almost no darts at double is why her average was up. And his average, of course, came down because he took 27 darts at a double. So this was not really a contest, unfortunately. I hope that that one is better in real life than it was right there. And so Ryan Joyce, he will now play someone good, if I recall. Simon Whitlock, yes, a higher seed. And now for our final first round matchup, it will be Ross Smith against Paul Lim. Now here's two people that, well, if you're a fan of Euro Tour darts, then you certainly know who Ross Smith is. 5 years ago, he threw a 9-darter, and it took 5 years and a day before MVG threw another one. And we all know about the curse of Ross Smith. Now, he's actually a decent player. He's done more than just throw a random 9-darter 5 years ago. He's had a pretty solid year, which is why he's qualified for the World Championships. Now, as for Paul Lim, if you don't know who Paul Lim is, well, I'm not going to sit here for an hour and tell you all about the stuff he did, but I'll hit the highlights. First 9-darter ever in the World Championships. Almost threw a 9-darter last year. Upset Mark Webster. Last year he also almost single-handedly beat Scotland with Gary Anderson and Peter Wright in the World Cup in a huge upset. And they also beat someone else in the second round. I don't remember who, but they just played out of their minds. Paul and his partner, Harith Lim. So what can Paul Lim do against Ross Smith? Well, the simple truth is he can do a lot. He's still a very good player. He's quite old. His best days are arguably right now. He's playing better than he ever has. So I don't think the age will be a factor. I think this is a very close match. I think it really could go either way. I see 5 sets on this one. I would love to see Paul Lim win because how many more years are we going to get to see him play? I don't know. Hopefully a lot, but I'm going to go Paul Lim 3-2. I think he'll find a way to win. He just seems to always find it when he needs it. I don't know how, but he does. All right. So with that said, let's get them out there. First, Ross Smith and Paul Lim. And Ross Smith wins 3-2. Well, I was right. It was 5 sets. I just went the wrong way with it. Well, just like a couple matches ago with Ratajski, it was all about the finishing. Paul Lim, 8 for 41, 19%. That's just not going to cut it. Ross Smith, 12 for 28. Not great, but certainly good enough. And that more than offset the scoring differences. So what have we learned here? Well, we didn't learn anything we didn't already know. Scoring is only half the battle. The real battle is with the finishing. So, go ahead and put that in. And Ross Smith will take on Daryl Gurney. And there we have it, folks. That is our round 1 preview video for the 2018 Darts World Championship. Hope you all found this interesting, informative, and I hope you liked it, and I hope that you will like this video and also could subscribe. That would really be awesome. And be sure to tune in for the next videos that will be coming out throughout the day. I will be previewing the entire tournament as we go. So be sure to tune in for the next one, and thank you everyone for watching.